Hello, everybody. Hey, this is Baker. My show is What's the Crack? And, it's just about a conversation and getting to know everybody and bring on some cool guests that we have here. Jeff Harmon, you're the first one here. Thank you so much. I believe, Jeff, you probably know Kyle Waller. I think you guys were at a competition together. And Kyle, hey, Brewer, what's up, buddy? Good to have you here. And today's show is just going to, spotlight Kyle a little bit. He does a podcast. He'll speak about that. He also does a comp in March, and we'll highlight that. I think it's going to go on 3 years. But if you have any questions, please, I'll star them. We'll get to them at the end. And we'll bring on Kyle and get to meet this guy.
Oh, hey, what's up?
There he is.
Hey, what's up,
Hey,
Baker?
Kyle,
Thanks
how
for
are
having
you,
me on,
buddy?
sir. I'm good, man. Thank you for asking me to come on. I'm not gonna lie, I totally forgot about it until
Oh,
until you.
Brewer's
Until
met
you,
you too.
yeah. I met Brewer, Jeff Harmon. I met those guys. Um,
Yeah.
I can't see the chats, but that's okay.
I'll highlight some if the new people came in, but yeah, right now it's just Jeff saying good and Brewer, and
Awesome.
I'll highlight some of them. But yeah, I thought it was perfect. You do a mental health podcast.
Yep,
I'm
I
gonna
do.
show the picture of that. Shape the
It's a
podcast, and
yeah.
when do you do those?
So well, let's see. Let's just start about that. So I started the podcast. It'll be 2 years in August, and I do them every other Friday night. You can find it on Shape the Podcast for You. That's our YouTube channel, which is scrolling across the bottom of the screen. But we also have a podcast group and a Facebook podcast page under Shape the Podcast. Um,
Yeah.
the group is more geared towards interaction. But yeah, 2 years ago I started with the goal in mind of letting people come on and share their mental health stories, and not just any mental health stories, but about the crap they've gone through in life, whether it be
Yeah.
recovering addicts or any type of addiction, um, suicide survivors,
Yes.
things of that nature. But that's the negative. But then talking about the positive things, it's all about sharing hope and positive energy. Um, it's all about maintaining mental health, like it says. It's mental health is very important. Um,
Yeah, and I mean, you're not just going after the bearded men; you're going with
so
everybody,
I'm
And
going with yeah. So this Friday's episode, I'll have on a mentor of mine who actually helped me at one point in my life, become a better person. Um, but
yes,
yeah, it's an important thing. People don't really talk about mental health that much, you know. Um, and it's funny. This is a mental health month. This is men's
hmm
mental health month. But for me, it's mental health month in general. You
yeah,
know, um, a
yeah. This
lot of
is your
people,
yearly. You're
yeah,
you don't stop it.
no, and it's what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make it to where it's okay for people to come on and share their stories. You
Yeah,
know, um, it's okay to cry.
hmm
It's okay to talk about how you're feeling. You know,
yep.
um, it's just
I
one of
agree
those
with you.
things. It's just one of those things where it needs to be done.
Yes.
I've seen people die of suicides. You know,
hmm
I I myself am a suicide survivor, um, and if it wasn't for me changing some things in my life, I don't think I'd be here. You know,
Yeah.
um, so I always tell people that my podcast is not just my podcast; it's everybody's podcast. You know,
Nice.
it's
Yeah, that's
it's
good.
helped me. It's helped me more than it has, I think, anybody else. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it needs to be talked about more, and I don't see any other podcasts like mine where people are sharing their stories and getting raw and real with with each other. Yeah. It's all about, and it's not just men's mental health. It's mental health in genuine. I'm not I'm not a therapist. I don't work in addiction, uh, but I was an addict. Like I said,
Hmm.
I'm a 3-time suicide survivor. You know, um, there's a lot behind this beard. It's just
Yes, yeah, it's a lot of stories, a lot of we were talking before. And, you're changed. You see the change
yeah,
in yourself. You're a different man for uh, getting your mental health not fixed but helped.
yeah,
And as you said, the podcast helps you, and that's what this is doing for me is interacting with people. So I'm not going through depression or anything, but I got some changes happening in my life here that I need something to escape every once in a while.
yeah,
And that's what the show is doing to bring guests like yourself in here and let's chat about it. We don't have to be hardcore, but
I mean, hey,
let's
you can be hardcore about mental health all day long. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? It's
yeah,
just one of those things to where it needs to happen. More people need to
yeah,
talk about it. But
yes,
before we go any farther, I just want to talk about something right now that's touching me that's happened here recently. A couple of members of the Brady community have lost loved ones here within the past couple of weeks. Sue Timmer, who was a member of the Cincinnati Beer Barons, her husband Will passed away suddenly last week.
oh
Um,
wow,
and then a good friend of mine, Jason Berger, um, his mom died, a couple of days ago. Um,
yeah,
and so just keep those two people in your thoughts and in your prayers. You know, uh, um, it's
always,
of course, as we know, death is inevitable. It's going to happen,
hmm
but you're never prepared for it. So
no,
I just wanted
no,
to bring that up because those two individuals mean a lot to me. And then my own podcast host, and I'm not going to go any farther uh, with what he's dealing with his family, but um, keep my podcast host Jason Sewell, uh, keep his family in your thoughts, because they're going through a difficult time right now. So,
yeah, yeah. We
but
all
yeah,
we, we all know the people that have touched us, and we hate seeing them going through this stuff. But as you know, it's inevitable sometimes. I'm hoping, and pray for all the people that you just mentioned because it's tough. You know,
yeah,
I lost my father about 5 years ago, and it still touches me every day. But you
yeah,
know, we got to go through it. We got to put that smile on, and but don't ever forget them.
yeah. I mean, hey, and sometimes you don't have to put that smile on. All right, I'm just gonna
Yeah,
let everybody know that there are those days to where you don't have to smile. You don't have to be oakley dokley, because it's okay to not be okay.
yeah,
That the old saying, you know.
hmm
Um, and I have those days. I I
yeah,
have those moments to where I don't want to put that smile on. Um, and it's okay for that not to happen. You know,
yes, yep, I
because
agree.
why let somebody see that fakeness? I guess you would say.
Hmm.
Let somebody see the real you. If you're not having a good day, let somebody see it. You know, um, but yeah, man,
Yeah, I
it's
agree. I agree with you.
it's
Um,
it's a hard thing though. You know, you
yeah,
don't want to see, you don't want people to know that you're struggling sometimes, but
hmm
uh, you know, it's also one of those things where if you don't let people know, you know, what if,
yeah, yeah, and
um,
they can take it the wrong way too.
yeah,
If you think that you're mad at them or something, it's just
yeah,
hey, I'm going through some stuff. I welcome you, but it's not going to be a good day to be hanging around with
yeah.
me. You
Don't worry, every day is a great day to hang around me. Okay,
but
except for that day.
that day, yeah, yeah, it's tough. Like I said, I see it all the time as I've grown more into this community, at the comp community and the bearded community basically in all. You see it even in our own club. We've have some people with struggling with some medical things, and it's it's tough. But you tell them you're here. If they need
Yeah.
anything, please reach out. Jacob, Jacked Up Leatherworks, just went through some stuff with his wife, and
Yeah.
You can't physically help them, but you can tell them, hey, you're here. If you just want to scream through the phone, go ahead. I mean, you got a shoulder. I don't judge. He was pretty open online. That's why I'm mentioning it.
Yeah.
But things seem to be going in the right direction, and
Yeah.
we're all happy for him. You know.
Yeah. I tell
Um,
you, and you were talking about the bearding community. I've I've been in it since 2014, 2015,
yeah.
and I've seen the changes within the breeding community, some good and some bad, you know. Um, but like for me, it's been great changes because not only am I a part of the uh, breeding community, but I'm also a part of the tattoo community now. Um, and so
Nice.
that yeah, I got to bring those two things together, I guess you'd say,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you did mention it in the intro. I am an organizer for a big competition called the Cyan Beard Mustache Competition. Uh, that was
Hmm.
last year's or this past year's logo, this past
Yep.
March. Um, but it will be happening again in Dayton, Ohio, um, in conjunction with a tattoo festival.
Yeah.
Um, this will be my third year doing it,
Hmm.
and it might be my last. I don't know. You know,
Yeah.
it's
You
it's
never know
hard.
what.
It's hard to do putting on events when you're one person. Well, two people, me and my wife. Um, it's hard to do when it's just us. Because I'm a part of the club. I'm a part of Talking Beards, the club. But we don't. You
Hmm.
know, Talking Beards, the club. We all live in other states. You know. Um, but they're
Yeah.
involved. But it's hard. It's a lot of work to put on a beard competition. But yeah, I got involved with the tattoo community through a good friend of mine named Josh Riley, who owns a tattoo shop, and that
Yeah.
competition's been fun. It's brought a lot of people from around the
Hmm.
country to it, and yeah, it'll go on again in March, and then I'm also doing one next Father's Day, June of next year, Father's Day weekend. Um, I'll be putting one on in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. So the
Nice.
Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area. Yeah, I
That's
still
beautiful
haven't.
there. That's it. I love
Yeah,
that.
I haven't
And
really
they,
announced that one yet on Facebook. Um, so there's not an event page made up for that, but there's an event page made up for the Cyan Beard Mustache competition. But
and that this is your third. This will be the third Scion,
this
right?
will be it'll be the fourth. It'll be the fourth year for the actual tattoo convention, but it'll be the third year for the beard competition. You
Okay.
know, what I want to do was I want to bring two worlds together. You know,
Hmm.
I'm tattooed. And
Hmm.
what I've noticed here lately in the bearding community is that a lot of events are dying off. You know,
Yeah.
um, a lot of events are the turnouts haven't been the best, things of that nature. So I'm like, hey, you know what? I went to Josh and said, hey, Josh, what would you think about having a beard mustache competition at your event? You know,
Yeah.
and he was like, well, yeah, tell me more. Let's talk about it. Um,
Yeah.
so he's been well receptive of it. It's been awesome that he's let me have it. You
Nice.
know, but and like I said, in doing that with him, I built more relationships with the tattoo community.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm able to do another one in
Hmm.
Gatlinburg, Tennessee, because
Nice.
I built a relationship with another guy who's having a tattoo convention in Gatlinburg, and he came to me and said, "Hey, I want you to be a part of it. I want you to do this." I'm like,
Excellent.
"Okay, yeah." So, uh, it's always good to bring different communities together
Yeah.
for one purpose,
Hmm.
and that purpose is to do positive things such as raise money for charity. So,
Charity. That's
yeah,
the number one right there. Yep.
And I mean, here's the thing. Back when I started in bearding, uh, charity was present, but I don't know if anybody's ever seen that show called Risker Wars.
I've
Well,
never catched it, but I've heard of
it
it before.
so you can go on like YouTube or
Yeah.
Netflix and watch it. It was a big party. So back when I started, bearding wasn't so much charity forward as it is now.
Yeah.
Um, it was more party centric. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a party, you know. But there were competitions around then that aren't around now. Like
Yeah.
you don't find certain clubs that were even around then that they're no longer. Um,
Yep.
well, one of my favorite competitions was held at a prison in Ohio called Beards Behind Bars. That was in Mansfield, Ohio. Um, it
Really?
was it was put on by a club called Beards of the Old Northwest.
Yeah.
Um, they are no longer really around. Um, and that was a fun competition because it was
I'd
held at
say that seems like it would be pretty cool.
it was held at the Ohio State Reformatory where Shawshank Redemption was filmed.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was held in a very historic location.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, but I do like that, Brewer. I do like how it's turned to charity. What I don't like, and I'm going to be open and honest, I don't like how uh, it's become a competition to outraise money.
Oh, okay. I understand.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, I,
Yeah.
I raise this. I raise this much more money than you
Yeah.
did. You know, and and it's like that. I don't like. You know.
No,
Um.
you don't get to turn out or whatnot, but you're still if it's a dollar more than your
Yep.
charity had. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. It is. Yeah.
you got to look at it that way. If I raise $200 by myself,
You
and
did it.
we as a group we could raise $2,000.
Yep.
You go with the group. Let's get that 2,000.
Yeah.
But it's not a competition saying, oh, okay, well we did this.
Yeah. It's
But
and I've seen that, and
yeah,
it's those groups that have been like that. I don't support them.
yeah.
I support people that are doing positive things in the community. You know,
Hmm.
like one of my best competitions that I love going to every year is a friend of yours, a friend of probably a lot of people on here, Chris Hall. Um,
Yeah,
his competition in Gent, West Virginia,
yeah.
because it's not just a competition, but it is. It's like a family reunion. It's a
Yep.
very relaxing weekend.
You don't have to
Everything's
go
there.
nowhere.
Yeah,
It's all
everything's
right
there.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's
I
just
I I'm so mad I missed that. I messaged Chris Hall and I said, "Hey, I booked my hotel. I'm 95% sure that I'm going to be there for my second time. I know
yeah,
it was the third year, but
yeah.
I said I'm 95% there. The week of, I said, Chris, it's looking good. It's looking good, but I swear to God, that Thursday, I had my bags packed. That Thursday, they mandated me for Saturday, and I couldn't get
Mm,
out of it no matter what. I had to cancel my hotel room and message him, and he basically says, "Well, there's nothing you can say. I need to make a living." But
yeah,
he
yeah.
said, "Next year, save your vacation time. You are taking it that week."
I tell you, it's fun, and I have to admit, I I wasn't going to compete in West Virginia. My wife was vending.
Yeah,
My wife crochets. Everybody, she and so she was vending at that competition, and I was just going to be there to be with her and hang out, you know.
yeah.
But Chris Hall does what Chris Hall always does, and says you got to compete, you know.
Hmm.
Um, so I competed.
Yeah,
But you know, I had more fun. I hate to say this, I had more fun hanging out with people than I did competing because I didn't want to
yeah,
compete. I
yeah,
and and that'll bring me to my next subject here in a little bit. Is that you know like I said, I've been doing it since 2015. You win the awards that they're great. You know,
yeah,
um,
yeah,
but for me, after like Friday night at the meet and greet, and then Saturday before and after the competition, that being around those people and hanging out and just talking,
Yep.
that brought more fellowship to me than being up on the stage. And
Agreed.
I was happy. I got third place.
Yeah.
I was I would have been happy getting fourth. But PJ Carroll, who we know, and
Yep.
Jeremy Johnson, two great
Yep.
individuals. That they beat me, and
Yeah.
I could not have been more ecstatic. You
Yeah.
know,
Yep.
because um and that's the thing. It's like once you yeah yeah and that's what it's about. You have to look past the competition part of it. Um, but yeah, so like I said, I've mentioned this on Facebook, and I'm going to mention it here. Uh, Worlds coming up next week. That's actually going to be probably my last time to get on a stage and compete. Um,
Hmm.
it's I've had my fun on stage competing, but
Yeah.
uh,
I agree with you. Everything that you said. It's nice. Believe me. I got a couple of them. One was an online thing, or two of them online, and it's nice. But I dig the money and getting to know the people
yeah,
that you're around.
yeah,
You know.
and for me, it's it's the fellowship is more than the competition.
Hmm.
So I've won the awards. I've won the accolades, so to speak.
Hmm.
My biggest award to date has been first place at Great American last year in Detroit. Um, and
Yeah.
it's I can still go to these competitions and support them and not have to worry about competing. So yeah, worlds will be it for me. I'm still gonna host
Well,
my events, and yeah, that's it.
and,
Um,
yeah, that's how we were talking before. I'm going to Worlds, but I'm not competing at all. I'm in a
yeah,
little lull. But I'm going there just because of these great people that are in this chat right now.
yeah. I
I
tell
would
you,
love
it's a fun time.
to meet them all. Yeah,
It,
and
it it is a fun time.
True North,
I
True North it's a beard company. Chris and Tara, they're awesome. They're gonna have a table there for the first time.
yeah,
And Kay and Born Bearded Dave, they're basically going to run it for them, but they
nice.
wanted to get their name out there at Worlds. I mean, they had an opportunity, and this is the first time that they're going to have a table there. So, I love True North products, and I I'd love to go see. We have this little joke. If I know you probably don't know it, but Tara drew Chris in a paint, like
All
a
right.
word paint. So this is dirty shirt croc now.
All
It wasn't
right.
supposed to be anything. It wasn't supposed to be anything. It turned into like a cult following.
I mean,
Um,
and why not?
but so if you're at Worlds, you guys go by. There's I think a 5 foot, I think 5 foot tall cutout of this
All right.
to
Awesome.
get a picture of, and tag True North in it and stuff like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of those, I told you, hidden kind of jokes that a lot of people don't understand.
Yeah.
They put out shirts recently, so I bought the shirt, and and it's just a fun little thing that they did, and but it was on a sticky note basically, and a friend of theirs got it as a digital, and then they
That's
put
awesome.
out stickers. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
will.
So
Yeah. I will be there. Along with my co-host Jason Soul, who owns Lucky Boy.
lucky
Um,
boy. Okay.
yeah, he's not bidding. He's going there, just to have fun. But
Yeah.
I will have Shape the Podcast stickers there.
Nice.
I'll only have 100. So if you come up to me and mention that hey, I saw you on Baker's podcast, or hey, give me one of your stickers, then
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you'll be one of the 100 to get them. All right.
It's like the taxi Phyllis handshake.
Yeah, yeah. Except for I I just don't yeah. But
uh,
yeah, I'm looking forward to Worlds because of a lot of people that I know off of my podcast and Facebook, um, that I'll get to meet again, and a lot of
yeah.
first time people. You know,
Hmm.
um, I'm sure I'll stop by True North and see those guys. Um, I've never used their product.
Uh,
Maybe talk to them will entice
uh,
me to.
yeah, they're gonna have a bunch of samples. I heard
I
maybe a
use
couple things to buy.
I use a couple. So I use Lucky Boy Beard Co. Um, because before Jason became my co-host, we um, we collaborated on a beard oil together.
Okay.
Shape the podcast. The Lucky Boy did. Um, and so oh, of course, yeah, totally. Um, so we collaborated on a beard oil together called Hold Fast, which you can get off Lucky Boy's site. And the reason why we did is because Jason Sewell's daughter was on my podcast and shared her story with mental health, and so we formed that relationship. But the thing with Hold Fast is that $5 of every bottle that's sold um, goes to a mental health charity. Yeah, it is. It's
Nice.
it's a great scent, but yeah, $5 of every single bottle sold goes to a mental health charity. So of course I use Lucky Boy because of that. But then I
Yeah,
use a there's a company here in where I'm from in Lebanon, Ohio, called Mikey's Beard Co.
I've heard of them.
It's a small batch.
Yep.
He's my barber, so
Oh, okay.
I use his stuff as well.
Yeah.
And then I use
Eh,
other companies, but yeah, I'm not like these guys to where I have a big beard oil collection. My hat collection and my bourbon collection are bigger than my beard oil collection. Okay.
um, it was funny. Like, so when I really got into this and started watching a lot of stuff, I bought this little caddy. It was in my bathroom. And I forget how many it held of that and butter and balm and stuff like that. But my brushes and my combs, it was just this 3 tier kind of caddy.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, because at that time there was a ton of sales, ton of launches, ton of this, and I was kind of getting into it, and I didn't know what scents I kind of liked. Like I told you, if I took care of my beard, I kind of threw in some stuff that was given out at comps, and we know what that is. And I didn't really know much about stuff. So once I started watching these podcasts, I don't know if you know Dan C. Bearded.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
he's
one of the biggest
yeah,
reviewers
yeah,
in the beard game. Yeah,
yep.
he is.
And I started watching him and going down the rabbit hole at 2 in the morning. Well, taking care of this, doing this, using wash, using heat,
Uh
using this. So that caddy got filled up real quick.
huh. Yeah. No.
Um,
My wife would be like, you don't need that. You
I
know.
know, I
But
know.
yet whenever we go on trips somewhere, I'll
Yeah,
say, hey honey, can we stop at this liquor store? I want to check out I want to check out the bourbon selection. All right?
yeah,
Now, just a little disclaimer. I'm not a really big drinker, but I have quite a collection of
yeah,
bourbon.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
It's
so yes, so my addiction with collecting bourbon and collecting baseball hats, um,
yeah.
and other stuff like that. It's yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I luckily my beard oil collection is not that. Like
Well,
I see these guys have like their whole wall is filled with beard
oh
oil,
yeah,
and I'm like,
yeah,
why? Like no, like I get it, I get it. You want to have this and that. I get it,
yeah.
but
You want to support the small
yeah,
batch, and when they're doing the sale or they're doing stuff, like as you were just saying. So when I I kind of said enough to like the beard oil. I'm done. I don't want any more. I gotta go through my stuff. So I started looking at other ways to support the small business. So
yeah,
now you can just see a little tip of it, but that's a hat collection from
yeah.
companies. It's going all the way over here. Um, Shirts. Uh, this is a Kilt Beer Company. Um, Now I got a lot of shirts. so,
Yeah.
and so you look. I have a lot of cleaning products. I probably can clean myself for a couple of years, but they put out this new scent, and it's just something that I have to try it. I have to try it,
Yeah.
and believe me, and it's going to a good thing. It's not going to a big box company. You feel even better. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, as I'm showcasing, this is Kay. She just did
Uh,
a community cup. It
that's
just
awesome. Yeah.
so happened, yeah, that Jay. These are just all logos of all companies, people, reviewers. That's Dan C. You can see that Wicked
Well,
Wednesday, and so on.
I know that's a nice laminated cup, but you, I'm gonna have to give you a shape of the podcast sticker to put on that baby. All right.
Yeah.
And
Well,
is that
here's a funny thing. So we all get
30
stickers and we
spray?
all love them.
So this guy
Yeah,
right
30
here,
straight.
30 spray. Is he the one that does this show with Dino? Is that
Yeah,
that?
that he probably
Oh
just
yeah.
got off of. Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually just watched part of Dino's show the other night, um,
Yeah.
which I actually had met Dino a couple times. I actually met him again back in June
Yeah.
at Chris
Yeah.
Hall's comp, and
Yep.
I'll meet him again in September at Mike Wiseman's comp. So
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
everybody knows who Hemp Wizard is.
Yep.
He's having a comp here in Ohio. Um, and I'll be
September.
there with 1,000 other bearded guys and probably a bunch of reviewers
Mm-hmm.
because I'm one of the judges. So yeah, so
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
so
Nice.
yeah, if you stop by that competition, and I like this comp because it's not just a beard competition. It's also a music
Yeah.
festival.
Yep. Well, just like you were saying about you getting together with the tattoo, the music rolls right into
yeah,
that.
it does. Yeah,
I was on Bishop's show last night co-hosting, and the Scallywag guys were there. Sean and DL,
yeah,
and you got one on yourself right now, and all this stuff meshes into that what we like: tattoos, clothing,
yeah.
music. It all meshes. So it's a great idea because I mean, yes, we like to hang out afterwards, but we can
Yeah.
hang out and listen to some great music too, or go get tattooed or something.
So I only put this on because I have couch head or bed head, whatever. So my my Sundays, okay, are for two things: napping and napping. Okay. So
Nice.
I took two naps today. Okay. Woke up this morning. My wife went and picked up breakfast at a local grocery store. We ate breakfast and then I fell back to sleep. Well, then a couple hours after that, I said, it's time for nap number two. So the only thing I did today was took a shower and put beard oil in my beard. That's it.
Yeah.
But other than that, I had nap hair, and I'm like, no. I said, no, I'm not going on Mike Baker's show with my hair all napped out. That
Yeah.
I mean, your logo has a scally on.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Yeah, I try to go towards the more of the Irish theme.
yeah.
I would have one on, and it's sitting right next to me, but it's probably about 7,000 degrees in my house right now, and it would just fall off from the sweat
Yeah.
that is happening right now. Needless to say, I don't have air conditioner and we're in a heat wave.
Yeah, I think everybody everybody right now is in a heat wave.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like I think half the country right now. Yes. Yes, I am. I'm taking a break from naps.
Yeah, I got to get an air conditioner, but as soon as I do, it'll go back down into the 70s or something.
Yeah, I know.
That's
Thank
my
God.
luck.
Thank God for ACs during the heat. But then, you got to think that, here we are as Americans. We're lucky enough to have roofs over our head, and we're lucky enough to have sometimes AC, sometimes not AC,
Yeah.
Yep. But you got to think about all the people out there that don't have what we have.
Oh no.
So
no, that's why I'll never complain about not having AC, other than I'm sweating and I would have a hat on.
The only thing that I will complain about is the state of Michigan and their football team. Okay, that's the only thing you'll ever hear me complain about. because
Really?
I'm an Ohio State fan. So yeah, You- and that's
So,
I'm only an Ohio State fan because I married into an Ohio State family,
okay. All
and
right.
my nephew plays for Ohio State. So
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Yeah, you got it. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
I have to.
You know.
Yeah.
So, just I missed the questions that I was going to ask you. So we kind of covered some of them, but I got to ask you just three questions of what was your first comp you ever went to?
Jesus Christ, man, man, you're taking me back years now. I mean, it's been over 11 years. Um, First competition, I would say, um, because I was in this club, the WC Risk Club out of Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay.
Um, I believe that was my first one of my first events.
Hmm.
What was their event, and this was like I said, I've been in this game for 11 years,
Yeah.
um, and they just had their most recent comp in January. Um, but yeah, I think their comp was the very first one, and then after
Okay.
that, it's Lord, I couldn't tell you. I could bar- I could barely tell you the last comp I went to. Okay.
Well, we know the next one that you're going to. We've been
Yes.
talking about is
Yeah.
Worlds. What would be a bucket list comp to go to? Just to go. I know you said about not
Man,
competing, but
I
just to
mean,
go.
just to go to, there's a lot. Like I would love to go out to
Hmm.
California to the Los Angeles their club, which I
Yeah.
will be going out there next year. Um, but I would say Austin Facial Hair Club, that their
Okay.
comp
All
that
right.
they host in February. Um, that would be.
Oh.
I've never been to Come and Shave It. It's called Come and Shave It. Um,
Okay.
and those guys, that club, some of those guys were on the show Whisker Wars. Um, and I got to meet those guys back in 2017 when Worlds was there. But other than Worlds and them hosting Worlds, I've actually never been to their competition. So
Okay.
that would be a bucket list comp.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I just kind of break the ice with those just a little bit because
Yeah,
everybody gets the same reaction of when you've been in it a long time, like you have, thinking of your first comp. Like I can think of mine because it was only a couple of years ago. It was Ghent, West Virginia, Chris
yeah,
Hall's. That was my first one. And um, I would love to make the Taxi Phil's competition.
yeah.
Um,
That's a good competition. I used to be a part of the Cincinnati Beer Brands Club. I
yeah.
live I live 35, 40 minutes away from Cincinnati, and I live 35, 40 minutes away from Dayton, Ohio. I'm right in the middle. Um, yeah,
Okay.
Cincinnati, man, they
Nice.
put on a great show. It's a great competition.
Yeah.
Um, I
Hmm.
I haven't been the past couple of years because I've had stuff going on in my life. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean I tell people right now that's the club. Um, Great group of individuals. Phil is a great guy. Um,
Yes, it
you know,
is.
we've had our differences, but he's a great individual. What he's
Yeah.
done for the breeding community, um, I mean he's considered an OG in the breeding community.
Yes.
I
Yes.
mean, yeah, his competition is a fun one, and
Yeah.
especially for people who've never been there. You know, um, but
I
yeah,
see the pictures and stuff like that, and
yeah,
it's like the world's largest raffle table, and
yes,
you
it is.
know,
Yeah,
and I've been seeing his pictures everywhere. I hope to be able to meet him up again at Worlds, but I know he's emceeing for part of it. There's a couple of them, and I hope to, you know, just meet him up again. The first time I met him was on stage. He made me compete at Ghent. So
yeah,
how Taxi Phil does it. Yeah, we only got like 4 people in this. Oh, you got the right size. Go on up.
yeah. He's always pulling new people who've never competed to
Hmm.
compete, and that's what I like about Phil and Sandy. That
Yeah.
when um, whenever they go to a competition, they'll ask whoever's putting on the competition, "Hey, do you need any help with this? Do you need help with that?
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
so that's what I love. And there's people on the breeding community that do that.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful thing. Like this community has brought a lot of great people into it.
Yes. Yep.
Um, but this community has brought a lot of bad people into it. I've seen my fair share of good and bad in the breeding community. You know,
Yeah.
um, but
Yep.
yeah, it's a
Me too.
totally different ball game now
Yes.
than what it used to be back in 2015. So
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen nasty, and
yeah,
believe me, I don't want to see that ever again. Um,
yeah, and
but
we won't go into that subject
no, 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 no.
because we're both talking about the same person. I have a
Yep.
feeling.
Yep. Probably. But anyways, go back on. So, anything? I know you're gonna have some guests coming up. Anything
Yeah,
new with the Shape podcast?
man. So new. It'll be 2 years in August. Um, I can't believe that I've been doing it for 2 years. Um,
Yeah.
I did not know when I first started doing it almost 2 years ago, how it would be perceived, and how it would be, how well it would take off.
Yeah.
Um, it's going pretty good. See, I've got my guests lined up for the month of June. Well,
Hmm.
my guests on Friday, and then I have my guests lined up for the month of July. You know,
Nice.
so there's that, and
Yeah.
I only do it every other week. So I couldn't imagine doing it every week. You know, um,
It,
it it
it
it is a lot.
on your
For
side,
the
it is. You're dealing with the mental part of it, so I
Yes,
could see that. But
it
my
is a
part,
lot.
yeah, my part is I play off the guests, play off the chat. I'll
Yeah.
tell you a quick story. My best show that I've ever had here. I had a cancellation, and it was a 2 hour show of nothing.
There you
There
go.
was no agenda. There, there was no nothing planned. It was I had a good group, and it was 11 o'clock at night. Or you're losing you
Uh, I
probably
think
me.
I'm losing you.
Like I told you, this happens all the time.
Yes, it's all right because it sounded like we were at like a dance club there for a minute because it's like yeah. I just thought I was back in my DJ days. I was like, oh man, am I
There
back
you
at the
go.
club again? but yeah,
But yeah,
I think
it's kind of crazy.
yeah, and
Good
that
call.
really is some of the best podcasts come when they're not planned out.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
and so with me and my podcast, I try to know what my guest is about prior to bringing them on, because it helps just with the general guideline. Um, but yeah, Jeff Harmon was on my show talking about prostate cancer, you know, and so
Yeah. Yep.
but I've had a lot of guests on talking about just everything in general from their mental health. But yeah, it takes like for me, um, like I said, that podcast has helped me, and I know it's helped others, you know. Um, but
Yes.
it's
And that's all we want.
yeah, it's my every other week therapy, you know. But yeah, it takes a lot. Like after I do it, I have to like decompress, you know. Um, I just have
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
I shut off my phone. I shut off Facebook, and I have to decompress because the subject matter sometimes is a little rough, you know.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
like this coming up Friday, I have a great guest on who's a mentor of mine. He helped me back when I was going through a hard time in my life. His name is Doug Scott. He's going to come on
Okay.
and share his story, but also what he does in the addiction community. He works with a lot of guys who have been through addiction, um, and things of that nature. So, but yeah, and then I
Nice.
have, let's see, the month of July. I forgot who I have on. Really, it's I got Logan Peterson, who is
All right.
Dads with Beards. And he's
Oh, okay. Copper Jones.
yeah, Copper Johns. Yeah. So he's actually gonna be on in July. Um July the
Nice.
11th. Yeah, so July the 11th, the week after Worlds, he's he's gonna come on. He's gonna come on the podcast. But yeah,
Nice. Yeah.
yeah. So there are those, like I said, my shows. Sometimes the subjects are really sensitive, and sometimes they're not. But
Yeah.
and I welcome anybody. I don't care if you don't think your story is important to share. It's important to share. You know, uh,
Yeah. Yep.
we've already touched on it. Mental health matters. You know, um,
Mm-hmm.
and I
It's
think
all mental health, like you're
yeah,
doing. You're not just focusing on one area. It's all
nope,
mental health.
yeah.
And that's a good thing. If somebody did want to come on, what's the best way to message you?
So you can message me directly, or you can message Shape the Podcast on Facebook. Um, it's
Okay.
either myself or Jason Sewell. Um, will
Okay.
will answer that. Um, but
Nice.
if you want to join the Facebook group, look up Shape the Podcast on Facebook. Um, we have a group there. Um, e- every once in a while, I will do a mental health check in, and just to see how people are doing. Um,
Nice.
and people have
Oh,
openly
good.
shared what they're going through. You know, um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it's a community of acceptance. Just like the breeding community. We all try to accept each other because we all have one common goal. Whether we're beardless or we're not beardless. You know,
Yeah.
we all want to help each other, um, and we all
Correct.
want to help charities. Um,
Well said. Yep. Well said. That's what exactly.
and that's
Um.
you know that's what my podcast is about. It's all about shape, sharing hope and positive
Yeah.
energy. That's what it's
Nice.
all about. Yeah, yeah. Jason and Amy are great people. I tell you, it's the, some people come into your lives that that touch you in ways that you would never think. We
Mm-hmm.
we all have those people in our lives.
Yes, we do.
I have like Aaron and Natalie Johnston. From Talking Beards. They have came into my life in a major way and helped me. Have seen my journey. Have seen my journey
Mm-hmm.
go from this part of Kyle Waller back in 2015, 2016 to where I'm at now. And so you have those people that are a vital part of your journey. Who you look up to and who you respect. You know,
Yeah.
um, I have a group of friends in my life who I consider family. You know, um, and I wish I knew more people in the breeding community. I just and it's hard. There's like you said, there's 1,000 beard oil companies out there. There's 1,000 people uh, trying to do good
Mm-hmm.
shit. Pardon my language, but do good shit. You know,
You're fine.
and uh, and I want to. Well, when I die, whenever that happens, is I want to be remembered for the good stuff I did, not the bad stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and
We all
so
do. We don't.
yeah, and I'm not doing the podcast for notoriety. I'm not doing it anything like that. I'm doing it because it's an outlet for people to come on and share what they're going through. You know,
Yeah.
um, I mean it's a very important thing. And
Mm-hmm.
what you're doing is a very important thing. You're bringing together people who may not know each other. And here
Exactly.
you are. You're having a show about everything. you know, everything. It could go from
and
bearding to cards to whatever.
yeah.
I mean, it's that's
And
what
that's
we
what
need.
I like with the yeah. I like like the people I do have on, you're like a triple threat. You've been to comps, you're holding comps, and now you got your podcast for mental health. You know,
Yeah.
so it's like, we could have a 2 hour discussion on just comps, or we could have a 5 minute on it. It's just, I don't, I just want people to realize, what is out there, who's doing this, and the work that it
Yeah.
goes into to kind of go and let's show our support to everybody and raise the money that we want to raise for the charities. And
Yeah.
they're the winners. They're the 100% the winners. It's
Yeah.
nice, like we discussed. It's nice to get a trophy or a shirt or something, and people saying, "Hey, great beard" or this and that. But
Yeah.
it's all for charity.
Yeah.
Like we at the pack right now, we're going to be doing the Operation Hydration, and that's just going to get cases of water and just bringing it to our local fire department or
Mhm.
local police department. And it's there to help out others. They hand it
Yeah.
out, that people don't have a clean water, or they just need a water or whatever. It's just, it's something simple. We're not there for, you won't see any pictures, you won't see anything. You'll see a couple of things that'll basically say, if you would like to support us, go
Yeah. Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah.
But
And that's
we're looking
that's
to
one
do it
thing
for ourselves.
that's
You
one
know,
thing I like is, you don't do it for you, or don't do it for the notoriety. Do
yeah,
it for those who need it. Um,
hmm
and uh, I get the beard community. I get people who, I get it. You want to share how much money you made at a beard competition,
yeah, yeah.
but you don't have to. You
No,
know,
you don't have to one
uh,
bit. If you
if
do share it, at least put it that this charity's getting it. You
yeah, yeah,
just
yeah. I mean, but again, with things that have happened here lately in the breeding community, is that you have to be held accountable. And
yeah,
and so
yep,
my podcast holds me accountable. You know,
yeah,
um,
yep,
you know, and it's just a great outlet for other people to come on, share their stories, and for people to listen and know and be like, you know what, my life, I'm going through this, but my life can be better. It's all about sharing hope and positive energy. You know,
hmm
it's that's what shape is. It's an acronym. You know, um, and it's something that I live with, and it's something that I live for every single day. I don't
yeah,
like my Facebook feed. You won't see political stuff on my Facebook feed. You used to,
yeah,
trust me. I used to be very
yeah,
political. Um, I used to be very sarcastic, things of that nature. But you won't see that on my Facebook feed anymore. You'll see
yeah.
me talking about, like, really a lot of mental health. You know, because it's not talked about enough. You know, so
And like
yeah,
like you said, you want to be remembered for the good that you did. Not
yep,
a stupid political post or any of that stuff.
yeah,
You'd rather get notification of somebody that needs some help and that you can help them out or something.
yep. I mean,
You know,
and and with my podcast, it used to be just centered around the individual. Well, now I'm starting to reach out to charities or
okay,
communities, like organizations who help out people who are struggling with mental health. And
yes,
like I said, I welcome anybody on the show. If
yeah,
if you have something that you want to talk about, whether it be, um, you're going through cancer, or you're recovering from prostate cancer. I've had on Jeff Harmon and Paul Kennedy, who are both prostate cancer survivors. you
yes,
know or
yeah,
it it helps, and
yeah,
it matters.
yeah,
Everybody has a story. You might
mhm,
think that your story isn't that good, but what if you shared it? you know what if you
exactly.
shared it? What if you helped one person? So yeah,
I
I mean,
agree
it's
with you. It's good stuff. With just having that outlet. Nobody judges.
yeah,
We all go through our own,
yeah,
uh, you know, demons, and
yeah,
there's no
yeah.
judge.
Yeah, I mean, everybody struggles. If
Yeah,
if you don't say that you don't struggle, then then something's wrong. We
yeah.
we all had we've all had struggles in our life.
hmm
So, man,
Just need that outlet, and like I said, if you want to get a hold of him, just go through his Facebook, Kyle Waller, or the Shape the podcast. Facebook page. And like I said, there's no judgment. There's no nothing. His show is very relaxed, and it's very good. And I like the route that it's going.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you, man. I know that, like you said, you watch it on the tail end after it's aired.
Yeah,
But yeah, you can
replay
find
squad.
it. Yeah, so you can actually find it on YouTube, and you can go back and watch past episodes.
Yeah,
Which is scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Shape the podcast for you. That's the YouTube channel. And
yep.
StreamYard is very pickety. You know, a lot of people. So a lot of people use StreamYard, but broadcast through YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough to where I'm still able to broadcast on my Facebook page, but I also broadcast. I also broadcast through sorry, through Talking Beards YouTube channel and Shape the Podcast YouTube channel. But yeah, every other Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can find me and you can find Jason Sewell, Lucky Boy, talking mental health. You know,
Nice.
But yeah, and I thank you for letting me come on and be a part of it. You know.
Dude, I'm on open channel. You got your comp coming on or whatever, just message me. I'll fit you in somewhere,
That'll be in March.
Yeah.
Cyan comp number 3.
Yeah.
And then I had the first Gatlinburg comp coming up in June of next year. So then my wife crochets, and she'll be crocheting at Beard America coming up at the end of July. And you can actually find her Facebook page is SB Crochet. It also stands for Stitching and Bitching.
Nice.
But yeah, it's all about like positivity in my life now. It's all about
good stuff.
Yeah, it's all about good stuff.
Yep.
But,
and Kyle, I appreciate you coming on.
Oh, dude.
You didn't hesitate at all, which I really liked. Us as podcasters, we like reliability.
Yeah.
You prepare for as things happen. We know things happen, but it's very awesome to have you on here. Get to see your face again and talk to you. Hopefully, Worlds will meet up. We'll talk a little bit there.
You'll see me at Worlds. I know that I'm going with Stitching and Bitching. That's right, Coffee. I don't know what I did. That was weird. I just did something. But yeah, so I'll be getting in Thursday sometime during the day. Me, Tony Johnson, aka Shooter, and Jason Berger. We're all going together. We have an Airbnb up there, yeah, and so we'll be getting in sometime Thursday, and we'll go do whatever, It's a long 3 days, and I don't have to compete until Saturday, but yeah, so I'll go watch my friends compete, and then after they're done, we'll go do something in Pittsburgh, So that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Worlds
100%.
It's Worlds is gonna be a fun time. Plus, it'll be fun to meet people from here, and fun to see people that I've met before. So yeah, be there, everybody. Next Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You got to be there. Well, I gotta work. All right, I'm not lucky enough to start the party on Tuesday. Nor would I go to the Pittsburgh Pirates game on Wednesday. Boo. Okay, I'm a Reds fan. I'm not a Pirates fan. I won't step a foot inside that stadium.
Well, I'm going Tuesday because I told you the reason why I don't have work. So they shut down, so I was able to go. So I said, "What the hell? I'll go up Tuesday, relax, see who else is going to be coming in there, and maybe grab something to eat or coffee or whatever."
Yeah.
And
it's gonna be a fun 3 days.
Just to relax.
Or for you, it's gonna be a fun 5 days. Okay.
I can't wait.
I'll be ready.
Go ahead, bud.
Don't worry.
All right. So Kyle, I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
thank you.
set you backstage real quick. Don't leave. I just want to, say thank you again in the backstage.
Oh, appreciate it, sir. Thank you very
See
much.
it. All right, guys. So that was my show. Hey, I got to put up pictures and nothing happened. Wow, I'm learning. Nobody noticed that? Wow. Usually my internet shuts down when I put up pictures, but I think I learned a new way. I appreciate every one of you that come in here and support me. Smash that like button, share, do whatever. I appreciate everyone that comes in here. Thanks for the compliments on the beard, but when we're a person, it'll be a little bit different. You'll see. But thank you again. As ending the show. Can't wait to meet people at Worlds. I'm gonna do some pop up things there. It's definitely at the True North table, and I'm planning on my show that Sunday. I may have something really special. I'll put it that way. We'll see if it all works out, but just remember, your beards don't conceal your identity; they create it. Thank you all again.